Hey guys, this is the catch, clean, and cook for Chelsea's spotted sea trout or speckled sea trout. This bad boy was 25 inches long, right at the maximum length of keeper size. If you'd like to see the catch portion of this video, click on the link above. Other than that, we're gonna get this bad boy filleted up for you guys. Alrighty, dude, one thing, look how yellow their mouths are. It's crazy.
I want to get a close-up.
Their mouths are so yellow.
This was my first sea trout to ever catch, so it's pretty legit.
It's a monster, too.
Yeah, he's huge. My first ever was literally right at 25, which is pretty cool. I was even like kind of glancing at, because we've heard it called speckled and spotted trout, so we were trying to figure out what's the common term for it or whatever. So I looked it up, and I saw a bunch of people catching them, and they got these like little dinks, and I'm over here with like a 25er. I'm like, all right.
All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start by making an incision at the end of the tail. This is basically just gonna be like filleting any fish, and fill around a little bit. Start making a cut way towards the front so you get as much of that upper fillet up there as you can. Like so. Cut down, cut around this part. Boom. Just cut through that there. Wow. Alright. Okay. And I'm gonna flip it up on its stomach. So yeah, now we're just gonna start cutting along the spine here. As close to the spine as we can. Get as much of that fillet as we can.
We typically cut on like a cutting board, but when we do this sea fishing, a lot of times we come home with these monsters. So like last sea trip was we ended up cutting our 34 and our 42 inch redfish. So, and this time around, right before we did the sea trout, we did our kingfish. So we had a 40 inch, 38 inch, and 37 inch kingfish to do before this guy. So it's so we use the whole table because, you know, why not? And unfortunately my table has no grip, so we end up with a towel situation.
Mm-hmm.
Get her done.
Get her done.
I'm kind of getting here.
My arm is actually literally getting tired from sawing down the sides of fish.
Guys, you know you did a few days fishing trip well when you're tired after you fillet. I'm tired of being here, but here we are. But I'll say this, my freezer is so stocked right now. It's insane.
So now that we've gotten that portion done, what we're gonna do is just kind of work our blade. I usually like to start towards from the back, but just work our blade along down the side of the fish. Trying to stay as close as we can to. And so what I do is here's the spine bone. What I do is kind of cut down to the spine, and then as soon as I get to the spine, I kind of switch my blade inward like that to get the most, see, so like I go right to there and then I curve it in, and that way I cut and I get most of that meat on the bottom side of the fillet also.
It's got a gorgeous color to it, that meat.
Yeah, it does. It's really nice looking. Run it down, run it down.
We've been looking at the king mackerel meat for a minute, and so that stuff's kind of, I mean, I hear it's amazing, but it is kind of colored sort of gray tingy. So the sea trout looks pretty yum.
Yummy. Go ahead and just cut up some of this. Okay, boom. Just working it. Just gonna keep working it, trying to stay as close to the bones and stuff as you can. Alright. Gonna just saw along here. All right, boom. That is a beautiful fillet. We're gonna do a little bit of trimming here. There's some bones that go right through here. We don't want those. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the cutting board for this part.
Okay.
It's a smaller fillet.
Thanks the Lord.
But yeah, there's some bones that run down through here. I got a little too close to the stomach, trying to get as much of the meat as I could. I'm just gonna run my fillet knife down through there, cut those bones out. That. Boom. Feels pretty nice. There we go. She's ready to be skinned. That is a nice looking fillet.
It's gorgeous.
I'm gonna run my blade about right there, a few inches up, pop it out the other side, come back with it. Okay, I kind of messed that up a little bit, but I got it started though. So then what you're gonna do is just grab the skin here with your fingers and run your blade up the side of the fillet. Have your knife angled downward, that way you get most of all the meat. Just gonna run it right on up the side of that skin. Dude, this is a nice fillet.
Pretty stoked that if we had to get one sea trout, that was the right size.
Bam.
I mean, that thing's pretty
That's
stout.
how you do it right there. Wow.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. That is a beautiful fillet. There's a little piece of skin I left on the end, but
He's gonna fix that.
wow, that is beautiful. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this in half, make 2 fillets out of it. Boom. That was a yummy dinner right there, tell you what. Go ahead and get me a little something started here. Fix what I did. Ideally, you don't want to do that.
In an ideal world, you're perfect and you make no mistakes at all. But unfortunately, we are not. So we make a mistake here and there, but the reality is we're gonna get this done. It's gonna look gorgeous. Hashtag YouTube professionals.
Hashtag YouTube profesh. Boom, call that a win. So we're just gonna repeat the same thing on the other side. We're gonna have 4 nice fillets off this fish. And yeah, that's how it's done, baby.